Hello, everyone. Diana Rankin here. Welcome and thank you for being with us today. We got a tough topic today, and Piper's still with us. As many of you know, she has bladder cancer, which I guess is fairly common in the Sheltie, and she's hiding under my desk here. She's on my laying here by my legs, so you may or may not see her. She's not doing well, so thank you for your prayers. But I thought today, instead of a message from Phillip answering one of your questions, that we would talk about when a loved one is dying, whether a loved one with 2 legs or 4 legs. So I want to tell you a little bit, first of all, and I've got 6 reasons or 6 things we should do when we're able to sit with a loved one who's dying. And I'm going to give you those 6 things to do because I think they'll help you. But I want to talk a little bit first. I want to give you my qualifications first so you know why I can talk about this honestly. And yes, we will get a message from one of my books, the Master's Book of Answers from Phillip. And as you know, it's just a book of an oracle book. I'm not going to read your comments yet because I know they will take me to tears, and I'm going to try to stay away from tears for the moment. But why do I think I can talk to you about the best way to be with a loved one when they're making their passage? Well, first of all, I'm a psychic medium, and so I saw that I remember being scolded for seeing somebody in spirit world was barely old enough to walk, and I was holding my mother's hand at my maternal grandfather's funeral. And I was talking. My mother's hand is on one side, and my grandfather and I are talking. And my mother looked down at me, and who are you talking to? Why are you talking to yourself? You don't do that here. And I said, well, I was talking to my grandfather. And she took me over to his casket and said, no, you don't talk to, here's your grandfather. He's in heaven now. You can't talk to him. So I had imaginary friends growing up, but I kept all that to myself, so-called imaginary friends, right? I kept all that to myself till I was in my late 40s, and I said, I can help others. I can ease the pain of others. So I recognized and became a psychic medium because when I give a message to someone, a loved one here, about their loved one in spirit world, it eases their pain. So I'm a spiritual life coach, and I was a hospice volunteer. And when I volunteered at hospice, if somebody didn't have a family, one of the things I would do is that hospice would call, and I would go sit with that person while they were dying. The last reason I feel I have a qualification is because of my age. I'm 79. So as we age, we become friends with death. We've had to say goodbye to so many people we love. Again, 2-legged and 4-legged. So I want to tell you, one of the things I think is so important is to respect the wishes. This is number 1, by the way. Some people want to be alone when they die. Some people want to be surrounded by their loved ones. Let your loved ones know what you want if you are facing death. And loved ones, please respect that. I want to tell you a story about Daisy. Some of you know Daisy. She was our border collie, and she was a rescue. And when Daisy was dying, I told her that she could come back as a puppy and it was okay to let go. And she let me know that her life as a puppy wasn't good. She was in rescue, and we don't know really what her life was, but we know it wasn't good. And she loved this land where we live. She loved it. It's very quiet here. It's peaceful. We're out in the country, and she absolutely loved the land. So she didn't want to leave it, and she asked me not to leave the land. Well, I didn't listen to Daisy, and I thought she was in pain. And I said, Daisy, I'm going to take you to the vets. We're going to say goodbye. We're going to let you go. This very peaceful, loving dog, when I went to lift her, bit me and opened up my lip. Well, Daisy had told me she didn't want to come back as a puppy. And I'll get to that in a moment. But she did say she would send me someone I was familiar with. And I'll get to that in a moment. Don't let me forget. I took Daisy to the vet anyway. And I walked into the vet. And the first question they ask is, has she bitten anybody in the last 24 hours? And I'm standing there with a little bleeding lip. And I said, yes. And they said, we can't euthanize her. In Ohio, a dog or a cat can't be euthanized within 24 hours after they've bitten someone. There are exceptions to that, but it's not nice, so I won't even go there. So Daisy had to go home, and the next morning she did pass. She told me she didn't want to come back as a puppy because her puppyhood was so horrible. But she would send me an animal, and she sent Piper. And Piper so much reminds me and others of a Sheltie that I had before, Lacy, who also was a rescue and never barked. And her self-esteem was never what we wanted it to be, never could get it up there. Well, Piper, we think, is Lacy reincarnated. And Piper is, she loves to bark. And she knows she's the queen. So Daisy is her angel. By the way, before I forget, I want to say thank you. I'm seeing a lot of comments here. And again, I can't read them right now. I will hopefully before we hang up, but my heart is too sad right now. But I want to thank my family and my friends who have been absolutely, including all of you, absolutely wonderful. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And a special shout out to my big brother, whose party is tonight, and I'm not gonna go because I want to stay here with Piper. I don't think she's passing tonight, but she's not doing well. Like I say, she's hiding under my desk. Anyway, back to when a loved one is dying. Now, some people die very, very quickly. And that's because they fulfilled their mission and they're ready, regardless of the age. Now, if it happens very quickly and is not recognized, like a car accident or something like that, and the person hasn't prepared, they need time to transition, and they may not know they're in spirit world. And so that's where our prayers come in and will help them. Though what we're going to be talking about a little bit more here, though, is somebody who you're sitting with while they're dying, and it takes a little bit more help here. In one of my books, The Found Child, and again, we're talking about humans and pets, it talks about humans who take a while. And I see this also in Alzheimer's patients. There are two reasons for taking a while to pass over. One is simply they have work to do here on this planet for their own lives, or two, they're being kind to those they love and allowing those they love to have that time to process. So the 6 things I want you to be able to do when a loved one is passing over is respect their wishes. That's number 1. Respect their wishes. If they want to be alone, respect that. If they've told you it's time for you to leave or anything like that, respect those wishes. You know, when I was a hospice volunteer, we would see like families just step out into the hall for a moment and the person would pass then because they didn't want their families to grieve that passing. Or other people want their whole families right there. What is the dying person's desire? And if you're the person who knows that your life is short, let your loved ones know what your wishes are. And for those who are there with you, respect the wishes of the dying person. Number 2, let the pet that you're going to miss them and you love them, but it's okay to let go. It's up to them, not up to you. So let them know you're going to be okay. You're going to miss them, but you'll be okay. You'll get through this. Be present for them. Not your Be present for yourself, certainly, but you're there for the other person, and be there, be present for them. Part of that is be careful with your tears. Shedding a tear or two is natural, and it's a kindness. Shedding and sobbing and saying, don't go, don't go. No, don't do that to them. Don't do that to yourself, but especially don't do it to the loved one. Be careful with those tears. The soul, if you can stay with the person and they wish you to, stay about 20 to 30 minutes after the death. The reason I say that is the soul may leave before the body actually dies, or up to 20, 30 minutes after the person dies. You may see the spirit actually leaving the body. It's like a cloud leaving, only in more of the shape of the body. Maybe not. It may just be like a puff of smoke. It's very common for loved ones to see that happen, to see the soul lifting out of the body, or the spirit lifting out of the body. It's a beautiful thing to witness. But stay with the person, stay with the body, the loved one, 20 to 30 minutes if you can. This is not saying don't take care of yourself. Absolutely take care of yourself, but also be cognizant of the person that you love, or the pet. Watch for the signs. Piper just moved out. I'm going to put this down so you can see her. She needs a good brushing. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. There, you can see her. She went to another hiding place back there. Often before rest, often a person has signs. Watch for those signs. And again, respect whatever the person passing has asked for. And the last thing I want to say is kind of this, what I've already said. I just want to repeat it. Respect their wishes. Grieve. Of course, we're going to grieve, but don't hold them with your grief, even after they've passed. When we pass into spirit world, and this is part of the signs, we have to rest. Unless we're a very high spiritual being, we will rest, and that can take a few weeks, it can take a few days, it can take a few years. But often when we first pass, we give signs to those we love. We may come for visitation, or we may knock a picture sideways, anything like that. I do have another video about signs from the afterlife that you might want to take a look at. But what I'm saying is, don't, after they've died, don't hold them with your grief. Release them. And that makes it so much easier on the loved one who has passed. If we're able to release them, we're able to then see the signs that they leave for us to let us know they're okay. So watch for those, my friend. I want to acknowledge those of you here, and I'm going to try to do this without tears, excuse me, and then we're going to get a message from Phillip. Okay, Juliet says, hi, Diana. Hello, Diana and Piper. We are both sending you love and healing. Thank you. Sheila says, oh no, Piper, I'm sorry to hear this news. Thank you. And Sheila said, my mom passed away recently. Oh, Sheila, we hold you. That's tough. I remember when my mother passed. It's really tough. That's a tough one. Debbie K says, Sheila, condolences for your loss. Absolutely. We're all holding you. And Sheila says, thank you, Diana, for this information about the subject. Thank you. And Sheila thanks Debbie. And Sheila says, letting go of a pet is the hardest thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And Debbie says, sorry about your fur baby. Thank you. And Juliet says, deepest condolences to Sheila. And Sheila says, I feel very sorry for you, Diana. You know, we have had wonderful, wonderful times together, Piper and I. Guide says, Diana and Piper, may the love of God enfold you at this time. We have had, Piper came to me a couple of years ago, and I said that she was a writer. She had to write her book, Piper's Wisdom on Happiness. So we haven't had a chance to even edit it, go over it for the final read through lately. But we will, and it will be out, and it will be her legacy to the world. All right, we're going to get a message here. There we go. I'm hearing right. If you heard right, that's a message for all of us. If you heard left, that's a message for you. And this is page 257. When you are lonely, you have been given the opportunity to come to better know the one who lives within you. When you are lonely, you have been given the opportunity to come to better know the one who lives within you. How is that pertinent to what we've been talking about today? Well, my friends, loneliness, it's that, yes, we have to grieve, but don't grieve to the point of destroying our own selves or hurting the one in spirit world who is trying to pass over successfully. So remember, when we're lonely, it's our opportunity to look inside ourselves. If you heard left, when you dismiss another, you dismiss a part of yourself. There are those that we may not like. Let's love them and dislike their actions, not them. Piper and I, thank you. We love you. Thank you all for your love, your kindness, your consideration, and your understanding. And hopefully we're going to try some new medicine. We're going to go pick it up this afternoon. And who knows, maybe Piper will be here with us next week and feeling good. You never know. But in the meantime, my friend, for those of you, Sheila and others, who have lost loved ones recently, we hold you in our hearts. We send you hugs. And letting go of somebody we love isn't ever easy, but let's make it easy for them. I love you. We'll see you next week. Bye for now, and thank you.